So today is June the 27th. I haven't done an update video in a couple of weeks because we've been doing stuff that doesn't really show up much on a video, but one of the things we have been working on the last few days is a bit of a kitchen clean up. We could call it a makeover, but it's still 70s heaven in here. But we have made it so we can live in it again. One of the main things we've done, you can't see it because of all the dishes I've just washed, put a new sink in, got a new tap on there. Looks really good. Annie Graham just had that sink lying around and it fits perfectly. So Stu's replumbed underneath. You can't probably see because it's all full at the minute. He's all done all the replumbing under here to make it much better than it was because that was just leaking like anything before. We sorted out this part of the oak weirdy trim stuff that we've got. So we bought this stuff here, this brown right angle trim, which is plastic, to try and neaten all the edges back up because it was just looking really awful before when we took it all down and there's all nails under there. So we haven't touched this part, this far side of the kitchen yet. That is yet to do. But this side is looking so much better. So we just got to bring our own washing machine and put it in there. This bit is all put back together behind the door. Looks really much better now, doesn't it, when it's not the hidden room? I mean, this is all just temporary until we can afford to have a kitchen done, but that might be a while yet. So, oh yeah, a little bit of an error here, but I might try and fix that at some point. Yeah, so that bit is looking really good in here now. And not much else has happened in the toilet, apart from we've just placed it in the right position. It's not ready yet. The last week we were working on radiators and turned on the heating and the hot water. Just having a look in the dining room here. Yeah, so we turned on the heating and the hot water, and then we kept finding odd leaks about the place that were coming down in the room that's behind the fridge now, which we've boarded back in. So one time it was the MagnaSure, or the MagnaClean that I showed on the last video. I think probably the worst culprit was up in the airing cupboard, which was the plumbing that had the plumbers do, not the bit that Stu's fixed. So anyway, that took about 3 or 4 days. We had to drain it all down 3 or 4 times. There was a bit of a drip coming from up there, but we've sorted that out. When we put the tank back in, oh, it's a door slam and it's windy. We had some weeps coming from some of the joins here. So basically, a lot of filling up and what have you later. It's a fully functioning system. We've got heating, we've got hot water from there now, which was the blooming hottest days of the week the other day. That's the day you don't want to be testing your heating because you get a bit hot. So anyway, it works, so that's great. The rest of the furniture that we bought has turned up. Unfortunately, we haven't got carpet down yet. It was supposed to come last Tuesday, so that when all of this lot turned up on Wednesday, we could put it straight in here and not move it again. But when the carpet came into the warehouse, they went to cut it to put it all into place, the right shapes for us, and it had a fault right down the line of the carpet, which would have been in every room. So basically, they rang around. That was the very last bit of that colour that any manufacturer had, or any supplier had. They couldn't get the other colour that we liked. Moved all some stuff in here as well. So we had to go back into the carpet shop, try and find a bit of grey, which was pretty much the same sort of tones as the one we had before. Sounds ridiculous, but matching greys to grey is really hard work. We found the one we liked. They rang the manufacturer. That was the very last bit of that we got as well. So this is what's happened with lockdown is a lot of manufacturers just aren't making things. So that is due in start of next week, I think. So we'll have to move all of this furniture out of here and a jack and stand it in this middle room, which we'll have to stack a bit better so they can fit the carpet in here, and then we can remake everything, remake the bed and get it all sorted. And then we're almost done in the house pretty much. We do need to spend next week. Stu goes back to work on the 1st. So until he goes back to work, the next focus is trying to get the garage sorted so that when we try and bring all our stuff over from Cossey, we've got somewhere to store it all in the garage. that's dry, and the shelving units and all that sort of thing. So that is next on the list, doing the garage. But meanwhile, I thought we'd just show it all today because it's all quite nice, because we've had a bit of a tidy up, because I've got some of my ski gang coming over in a minute to sit in the garden, which is why, of course, yesterday it was 30 degrees and sunny, and today it's windy, about to rain, and not very warm. So that's typical, isn't it? But anyway, I'm sure they'll enjoy sitting in the garden. I've made a little... Sorry, I'm going to make everyone dizzy now. And the door keeps slamming because we have it open for the dog. Come on, Jack. Come through the dining room. I've made a little socially distant patio area, so there's one person can sit on each bench, chairs are apart, and I've even put the padding back on the swing seat. So we've got a nice little area if the rain holds off. Anyway, that's it for today.